John shifted in his bed. A strange sound reached his ears. It was a low hum, like a refrigerator on overdrive. He pulled his pillow over his head, trying to block it out. The hum grew louder. John sat up, his heart pounding. He threw back the covers and went to the window. He gasped. A bright blue light engulfed his backyard. It pulsed with an eerie rhythm. John shielded his eyes, squinting into the light. Then he saw it. A large silver disc hovered silently above his rose bushes. A flying saucer. John stumbled back from the window, his heart pounding in his chest. He had never seen anything like it before, and the sight filled him with a sense of dread he couldn't shake. Fear gripped him, tightening its hold with every passing second. He wanted to run, to hide, to escape the unknown terror that loomed outside his window. But his feet felt like lead, refusing to obey his desperate commands. He was frozen in place, paralyzed by the sheer intensity of his fear. His mind raced, but his body remained still. His eyes were glued to the strange craft outside, unable to look away. The blue light from the craft intensified, casting eerie shadows around the room. Bathing the room in an otherworldly glow, the air crackled with energy. A high-pitched whine pierced the silence, growing louder and more insistent. John watched in terror as the wall shimmered and dissolved before his eyes. In its place stood a figure unlike anything he'd ever seen. It was tall and slender, almost ethereal in its appearance. With smooth silver skin that seemed to reflect the light, the figure was both mesmerizing and terrifying. Its head was elongated, giving it an otherworldly look. Its enormous black eyes seemed to burn into his soul, as if it could see every fear and every secret he held. John felt a chill run down his spine, realizing he was face to face with something truly alien. The alien extended a long, thin arm toward John, its movements slow and deliberate, as if savoring the moment. Its fingers ended in sharp metallic claws that glinted menacingly under the dim light of the room. John tried to scream, but no sound came out. His throat felt constricted, as if the very air had been stolen from his lungs. He was paralyzed with fear, his mind unable to process what was happening. Every muscle in his body refused to obey his desperate commands to move. The alien's touch was cold, like ice, sending a shiver down his spine. It felt as though the very essence of warmth was being drained from his body. John felt a jolt surge through his body, a sharp electric shock that left his nerves tingling and his mind reeling. He tried to pull away, to fight back, but he was powerless. His limbs felt heavy, as if weighed down by an invisible force. It was like his muscles had turned to jelly, refusing to respond to his frantic attempts to escape. The alien pulled John towards the shimmering portal, its grip unyielding. The portal's surface rippled like liquid glass, promising an unknown fate. They moved through the wall and into the heart of the flying saucer, the transition seamless and surreal as if reality itself was bending. John found himself in a sterile, metallic hallway bathed in a cold, blue light. The air was thick with an unfamiliar scent, a mix of metal and something unidentifiable. The alien dragged him down the corridor, his feet trailing uselessly behind him. The walls seemed to hum with a low, eerie vibration, adding to the sense of dread that filled his heart. Miles away, a teenage girl named Sarah lay asleep in her bed. She was having a terrible dream, a jumble of images that made no sense. Suddenly, she sat bolt upright in bed, her heart pounding. Her room was bathed in an eerie blue light. Standing at the foot of her bed was her father. He looked at her with a mixture of sadness and urgency. "Sarah," he said, his voice strained, "it's time to go." Sarah frowned. Something wasn't right. Her father was acting strange. He seemed distant, his eyes clouded with something she couldn't place. John and Sarah found themselves in a large circular room. The walls were adorned with strange symbols that seemed to glow faintly, casting eerie shadows. They could feel the weight of the room's history pressing down on them, as if countless others had stood in their place before. In the center stood a platform bathed in a blinding white light. The light was so intense that it made their eyes water, yet they couldn't look away. It was as if the light held some kind of magnetic pull, drawing them closer. The alien that had abducted John turned to face them. Its movements were slow and deliberate, almost ritualistic. There was an air of solemnity about it, as if it were about to perform some ancient rite. Its black eyes seemed to pierce through them, reading their thoughts, their fears. They felt exposed, as if every secret they had ever kept was laid bare before this otherworldly being. The intensity of its gaze was almost unbearable. Then, with a gesture, it released them. The alien's hand moved gracefully, almost like a conductor leading an orchestra. Instantly, the tension in the room dissipated, and they felt an overwhelming sense of relief. The world dissolved into a whirlwind of light and sound. Colors and shapes blurred together, creating a kaleidoscope of sensations. It was disorienting, yet strangely beautiful, like being inside a living painting. John and Sarah were thrown back into their own beds, the memories of their abduction fading like a bad dream. They awoke with a start, their hearts pounding, unsure if what they had experienced was real or just a figment of their imagination. They were back where they started, but they would never be the same. The room felt different, almost alien, as if they had brought a piece of that otherworldly place back with them. They had glimpsed something beyond human comprehension. It was a revelation that shook them to their core, challenging everything they thought they knew about the universe. Something that would forever change their perception of reality. They knew that life would never be the same again, and that their journey was far from over.